Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, B Funk, thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. Oh, I got something nice for you today. Let's go. Radism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I got life lessons for you. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinkers' mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See, we were going with this. Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. But you teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. The person who knows and knows not that they know is okay, spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And always to my eye, be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about the importance of a good teacher, aka sage, to associate with. They say birds of a feather flock together. You get better by people who you respect and admire and hang out with them. Okay, emulate them. Flattery, the highest form of flattery is what? Imitation. So let's go. Let's talk about this right quick. Now, for my right thinkers, anybody, one of the important ways of promoting awareness and constant reflection is what? Keeping the company of a wise teacher. I'm just saying. Or sage. That's this. I'm just reading it. In ancient Egypt, the temple system served the purpose of instructing aspirants in the wisdom teachings and then allowing them back into the world of what? Regular basis in order to what? Test their level of understanding of the teachings and their self-control by what? Practicing the teachings when confronted with ordinary people, worldly minded people, ignorant people. How about that? That's the concept. But what they're saying is when you come to the temple, now when I was coming up in the Masonic order, you couldn't come into that building without being checked, scrutinized by somebody. That's old school, okay? It was a temple and we revered it. Somebody's always there, trustee, somebody there. It was always there for somebody to come and learn, what they need to know about Masonic business. But the temple was a place where the initiate could what? Go where? On a regular basis. I was so in charge of that nonsense. I'm there pretty much 4 or 5 days a week, okay? And receive instruction. I was receiving instruction. I was also giving instruction. So I was getting on both ends. As I was receiving it, I would pass it on. Still doing the same thing to this day, right now. Okay. But back then, you would receive instructions and the counseling on the correct application of the teachings. Sorry. In your day-to-day life. So that means what? Daily. The idea is reflected in the ancient Egyptian stela of the Tahuti Nefer. And this is what it says. Consume pure foods, pure thoughts, P-funks, I don't know, pure hands, adore your celestial beings. ancestors, one's loved ones who passed on, and try to become associated with what? The wise ones. Sages, saints, and prophets, and make offerings to God. That means you had to connect to your higher self. It's cool to learn and get information, but you had one-on-one with God for yourself. That's the goal for me, to teach you to have your own relationship with God. I'm just the instructor. The association with a sage, daily, and saints would call good association, is seen as what? As a primary way to accelerate the spiritual development of the aspirant or right thinker. In this case, I don't have no building. I have a platform right here. All you gotta do is tune in. I do the rest. Now, again, this is because what? It is the nature of the mind to what? Imitate, that which its focus is on. If I was going up, see what I'm saying? So whatever we admire or like, we're going to focus on that. That's true fact, okay? But an important definition of the symbols associated with what? SMA, which is spelled S-M-A, or Sema, remember? Sema-Tawi. And to render what? This is the idea, to render a clear and visible understanding of the ancient Egyptians, and the gathering, an assembly, or a reunion was called a smoked, S-M-A-I-T, and small is the name for the temple, the building, the gathering place. Again, in Kemet, the priest assumed the role of who? Preceptor, Sabai, S-B-A-I, leading the initiate, all right thinkers, to what? Total understanding of the teachings of the hieroglyphs. I don't do that. I break it down for you. Once they break it down for me, I give it to you. But I don't know the hieroglyph. I didn't do the measuring that. I got the book, but I never get into that. But again, it teaches the purification of what? The mind. Excuse me. And the body. And eventually to what? To intuitionally realization through the practice of daily mental exercise. What's that? Meditation, and the application of the wisdom teachings that you're receiving daily. Okay? And in ancient Egypt, this is symbolized by what? By the scenes where deities such as, you ready? Heru, Tahuti, Anpu, Het-Haru, and Aset, etc. will lead you, once you master each one of them within your personality, the initiate to what? Megasar, your higher self, his or her higher self. This is what I do, and this is my favorite stuff. And this teaching, okay, right thinking philosophy, was adopted, or Shita Netta, because right thinking wasn't around there, but like this, Shita Netta was adopted by who? By the Greek. They called it the Greek mysteries. And the reason why, I guess this comes so natural to me, because I learned the Greek mysteries. And in India, this process is known as Satsanga, okay? Where you, the aspirant, the right thinker, you receive the teachings from a guru or a spiritual preceptor, sage, when on a continuous basis. Right there. That's why I do it daily. If you got something in abundance, you can afford to give it away. When? Daily. That's why. Understand that. That's why. And if you have students that's willing to learn daily, you teach them daily. Moving on. Now, where we at? Okay. Otherwise, what's this? No, whoa, I'm up here, sorry. But now in Buddhism, watch this. Every culture has their teacher, preceptor, guru. The Buddhism, the process is known as Sangha. Okay, in Christianity, oh yeah, I got one too. I keep telling you that. This idea was reflected in the what? Relationship between who? or y'all Bible thumpers, Jesus and John the Baptist. And later on, what Jesus got from John the Baptist, he gave to his disciples, okay, and keeping the company of what? Wise people, or those seeking wisdom, students, is an important and powerful tool for spiritual development, because the nature of the unenlightened, aka ignorant, in your nature, mind allows it to make what? Subtle mistakes that can lead the aspirant astray from what? The correct interpretation of the teachings. A lot of people misinterpret, misteach what? The religion concept. I'm just saying. But with the truth, you got to worry about that. Now, it would take, watch this, it would take, whoa, teacher, excuse me. Thus, it is the receiving of the correct teachings that is the real force which causes what? Transformation. With the truth, that's what frees you. Ignorance is bonding you. Knowledge with truth, knowledge of the truth is what frees you. Truth will set you free. Yeah. But that's the point. That's the concept. But only then can you transform through what? A baptismal. Meaning you're going to go from one thing to another. That's a ritual. When he dunked them in the water, that's just a ritual. But the point is, he taught him. He instructed him, and he moved on, and it was all about the baptismal ritual and not the ritual itself. It's the educational process that he got, not to just dump it in the water. Moving on, useless process, but the idea is to learn. Okay, so therefore, let's get down to the nitty gritty about this teacher. The teacher, aka guru, priest, sage, etc., who is what? Is close to God. Why? Because he's enlightened. He or she is enlightened. And it is where, watch this, is seen as a greater than God. Why? Because he or she, said guru or saint, priest or priestess, can lead you, the aspirant, where? Toward God. Okay, that's my job, to get you to God. Okay, that's where it comes from, right there. Knowing why. Perfect example. Knowing who and where God is. I'm trying to teach that to you. And how God is to be discovered, worshiped, and devoted to in your own way, in your own time. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. But again, a good teacher, what was that right here? Sorry about that. You follow him, so why? Because he or she can lead you, the right thinking aspirant, toward God. That's my mission. Knowing who and where God is inside you, and how God is to be discovered by you. Otherwise, without that, it would be very difficult for you, and long and arduous process for you, again, the aspirant, to what? To realize the truth. It would take, you ready? Millions of incarnations. That's a long time. Wherein untold sufferings for every existence that you have in this world, you're going to go through the same pains and sufferings over and over again. And this would occur in the process of what? Gaining your life experiences, which would teach you the proper way to discover thyself. If you didn't have a teacher, an instructor, it's going to take you the old-fashioned way a long time. So speed the process up. I can help you with that. Trust me. All right, let me wrap this up. I see the clock. Oh, I'm good. No, I got another whole page to go, but let me wrap this up on this side. Where you at? So your journey, your psycho-spiritual journey, aka life, through this volume, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to impart in you one of the most important points about true spirituality. And that's what? Namely, that you are transcendental, teaching you about yourself, your inner self. You are immortal and eternal. And as such, you are endowed. That means it's to you. You are all that. With what? You have it in you with all the qualities necessary to achieve. They say if you can conceive it, you can achieve it. I can do all things through Christ to strengthen me. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's the concept. balking at it. But the highest level of spiritual realization, regardless of your background or your country or origin, can be obtained through hard work, daily perseverance, and practice of the lessons that you're being taught. I'm here every day to do just that for you. I do what I do for you. All right. Another important point is to try to become the best possible student or disciple or right thinker you can be. Why? So now you can, while still performing your daily duties. Don't nothing in your life have to change for you to be your best self. So all your daily duties in life, do not engage in what fancies about what spirituality or what's this extremes either. That will disrupt your real spiritual movement of knowledge of self. Once you honestly set in motion what you're going to do on the mystical process, the spiritual path that you chose, your own spiritual aspiration should be what drives you, should be what motivates and pushes you. Called self-starters. You don't need nobody to motivate you. You should start yourself. I'm just here to instruct. You will what? One day encounter a more advanced personality on your trail of spiritual knowledge from whom you can now learn and progress further in your own understanding. In every country, there exists a more advanced personality who can lead you further along your path of what? Self-discovery. Have you known anyone, watch this, who is able to control their emotions? A lot of us have a problem with that. When you're working on yourself, that's the first thing you have to do. Control that emotion, aka your ego. Have you known anyone, I keep saying, have you known anyone who has lived through, and we all have, situations such as loss of a loved one? Yeah, been there, did that too, okay, to a serious ailment, yeah, cancer, and have moved forward with what? Composure. So when my old man died, I wasn't like, I fell apart. I couldn't handle it. Okay, yeah, my emotions, I couldn't handle them. I was flipping the fuck out. Excuse me, but I lost it. And I'm regretting it. I said, dude, you wouldn't deal with that well. But it is what it is. But you have somebody who done that without losing enthusiasm for life. It didn't take away my life, nothing to live, but I just didn't handle it well personally. And have you met anyone who had been like what you call a pillar for others? That's my mom, okay? She's strong. And whom others go to in time of trouble or need. Again, my mom. If you have the good fortune to know someone like this, I do, my mom. What should you do? Get close to them. I do every day. I call it a day, matter of fact. And ask them to show you how they came to possess those advanced spiritual qualities. My mom went to church with me a few years ago. And first time ever happened. And she was speaking on how she never think this would happen in years. And she broke down. I just remember I had to help my mom. So, yeah. And I watched her great niece died. My niece passed. She was cool as a cucumber. But me in church broke her down. So, but I can get it. But she's a strong-willed person. I get a lot of stuff from my mom. She taught me a lesson of forgiveness just this last few months. Now, you ask their permission. You ask them questions. I ask questions, and you spend time with them so that you may what? Benefit from what? Their knowledge and their wisdom from their life experience. Sorry, but that's what I teach, only what my life experience in living. You may find that some people are well developed in some areas, okay, but not in others, and that's fine. Learn what you can, and you emulate their virtuous characteristics. Take the good stuff, let the other stuff go, okay? That's what I did. Now, if you get to a point where you feel there is no more to learn from that person, Okay, you grown, outgrown. Okay, you move on. You start, continue seeking, and you will what? Now discover the steps which lead you what? Upward on the ladder of what? Spiritual aspiration. 7 steps. Come on. And there is no longer what? There is no greater blessing than what? Meet a sage or a saint who have what? Attained nihas, aka higher consciousness, nirvana, moksha, Christhood, Buddhahood, Holy salvation, liberation, resurrection, etc. themselves. All these, another word for being spiritually enlightened. That's why I teach you what I know, why I'm spiritually enlightened. I can tell you what I know, who and how I know, and where you should go and how to get there. Simple as that. Moving on, that's what I do. And what happened? Who've done this themselves, while at the same time being well versed in what? In the written teachings. Well, I got them on right here. They can best help you to what? Understand the subtlety of the teachings, break it down for you so you understand, and they can lead you to what? Greater and greater awareness of oneself for comprehension and understanding for yourself. And this will lead you on your own higher mystical realization of yourself in a shorter time than through any other method. Without being taught, without being instructed, it's a rough, long road. Simple as that. Let me wrap it up. I see the clock. I got one more paragraph here for you. Now, in other words, they cannot transform you into a spiritual personality, but you yourself must do that for yourself with the help of somebody who's done it already. Why? However, they can, and this is what I do, direct you on said path, the correct path, the spiritual, psycho-spiritual journey path of enlightenment, and help you to avoid making your mistakes. Now, if you're willing to listen. I can only teach those who want to be taught. I can only enlighten those who know they're not enlightened. Some people think they're enlightened. They don't need what I got. So I can't do nothing that you don't want me to do for you. But you should not become distracted by what? Different religions or dropping around looking for different teachers. I ain't saying stick with me. No, I'm just saying stick with one. But rather you set your attention on the highest goal, aka spiritual enlightenment. Know thyself. That should be your goal. And whoever, whatever teacher, whoever can help you get there, take it. They all, what's this? Then all else will fall into place. What Jesus tell you? Find the kingdom of heaven within thyself and everything else to be given to you or whatever they say. But yeah, knowing thyself and make everything else. To get everything else and not know yourself. What good is the man to gain the world and not know himself or herself? But there's only one path and one teacher are needed and advisable to just one. And once you set that course to go that way, stay on it. Why? It ain't gonna be easy, but stay on it. Why? Because as a disciple who does not practice, if you're a disciple who does not practice the teachings of their spiritual preceptor, aka right thinker, with the notion that the preceptor will provide for him or her spiritual development, is like a person, what's this, who expects to become physically fit by merely going to the gym without doing any exercise. Getting the information from me is cool. I'm admirable. I appreciate it. But if you ain't using it, that's what they're saying. You don't need to go to the gym if you ain't going to use it. I work out every time I go, personally. But I get the concept. The preceptor just provides the mental food, information, the knowledge in the form of their wisdom and their teaching from their experiences. Again, I only teach you what I know, experience. And then it is up to who? You. Again, you, to take this information, aka food, philosophically, and you consume it, and then comprehend it, digest it, reflect on it, absorb it, and it allow it to what? Become part of your being. You become it. it becomes you. I gave you a lesson. To know God, you got to become God. Simple. And since your innermost self is God, that's why you need to know that. That's the God in you. Is your supreme preceptor. Your inner self is your higher and your best teacher. All of the situations in life you find yourself involved in with what? You are divinely inspired to provide for you. The nature. Some things just work out good for you. When you're doing right, living right, the path is laid out for you, okay? And will provide for you what? Your spiritual education. Your experience of practicing what you're learning. Wrapping it up. I'm taking it home. The same divine self is instructing you through your what? Spiritual preceptor sent to you by him. And it is this same divine self which aids your reflecting, self-reflecting, meditating, and understanding the process to what? Know thyself. That's our goal, my mission, and your goal. Let's work together to make it happen. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Hope you understood it. More importantly. So in closing, right thinkers, may y'all live to be 100, maybe 100 minus a day. So I never know my right thinkers have passed away. I'll be right back.